We were born to sob and to howl, to shudder and shriek, to jump up, crack up, scream our lungs out, and be left speechless. This is the good stuff in life, and the all-new Contour from Cox helps us get right to it. Just say what you want, and your TV finds it. Speak, find, feel, and get right to the good stuff. Available to residential customers in select Cox service areas. Advertised features available with Cox Contour 2 digital receiver. Professional installation required. Other conditions apply.
You're tuning in to the Goldilocks presentation of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with Anthony Rodriguez. Anthony Rodriguez, a.k.a. Walking Crow, found transformational energy healing through a personal search into healing and was transformed by this experience. He made the decision to pursue training and has since become a certified energy healing practitioner with an emphasis on working with clients in recovery from addiction. His willingness to be open and listen has allowed him to be of service to many who seek a peaceful, serene, and healthier body, mind, and spirit. Call in now if you would like to speak with Anthony. The call-in number is 713-955-0332. Enjoy this transformational and healing show.
Aho! Happy Tuesday. Happy November 8th, Tuesday voting day. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and welcome to the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. What an incredible day it is today. What a beautiful day it is in Los Angeles and probably across the country. Can you imagine? Do you know what kind of lines are out there? Not only to vote, but boy, voting day created some kind of traffic this morning, and wow, what an incredible day. I don't know why I felt I needed to say that. It's Taco Tuesday. It's Voting Tuesday. It's all kind of a Tuesday, and here we are again. Today on the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show, we're going to be talking about, I remember as a little child kicking against a stone wall I built around myself. What is your stone wall? How high have you built it? How thick have you made it? What is the stone wall that keeps you separated from others, that keeps you separated from the rest of your life? Does it? Can it? Will it? Do you build it higher? Do you build it tighter? I have spent the last almost 25 years of my life kicking out the stones of my wall, one stone at a time, one issue at a time, one trust at a time, one heart at a time, one conscious at a time, one thought at a time, 1 second at a time. My life is worth it. My life is so worth it that I don't want walls between you and me, spoken or unspoken. I don't want any walls between you and me. I try to be as transparent as I can, and if I'm not being transparent, I hope somebody would call me on it, or I would see it later and come back to you and say, I'm sorry. I don't want walls between us. I spent a lifetime building walls between me and you and me and my mother and my father and God and life and my own growth. And I built walls between me and love for me. And what I want now is nothing more than just to love me and to be able to be with me in a good way, knock down those walls, and find happiness and goodness from a place that's so deep that it's a place that God gave me. I want to welcome you. Our call-in number is 713-955-0332. Push 1 to get out of listen mode. Please call in today. Today is a day of conscience. Today is a day of choice. Today is a new day for making decisions, not only for this country, but making decisions for yourself. What is it that you want for yourself? What is it that you want to give to yourself? How do you want to heal? How can I help you to heal? We already have callers on the line, and I'm excited today. I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to talking to many more callers today. From this point forward, freedom is here. Not because we're voting, but because you are choosing freedom to be with you, to be who you are. Aho! come into your ground, to come into your roots, come into your place of being, or step into your fire, your fuego, your power of who you are within, deep within. Not that person that they tried to make you be, not the person that they tried to change you into. And you know what I'm talking about, but the person you have always been and always will be. Always will be. That's right. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And when I say that, I step into my power. I step into my spiritual name as a healer, as a medicine man, as a shamanic drummer, as a teacher, as a student, as a husband, as a son, as a friend, as an uncle, as a brother, as a cousin, as a neighbor, as a neighbor. And I open myself up to many neighbors and many people. What is it you want for yourself today, and how can we help find it for you? How can we help you to knock down those walls, kick out those stones one at a time? One at a time. We built them up. We can take them down, and the others will help us do that if we're willing. Well, fantastic. Far out. So I mentioned that I'm an energy healer. I'm a healer. I'm a medicine man. You could go to my website, sacreddrum24.weebly.com, and you can check out what it is that I do, and you can look at my events. I have a whole lot of events coming up. Or you can reach out to me at anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com, and we can set up a 20-minute free consultation for you, and see if you would like to come see me after that. But I will give you a free 20-minute consultation, or you can reach out to me at area code 818-442-1717. That's my direct line to Manos Lulu's Transformational Sacred Drum Healing, Energy Healing. And we can have a conversation on how we can help you and how we can help you to move forward. I remember as a little child kicking against a stone wall I built around myself. That is from a song by a group called the Hot House Flowers. And I won't give in. I won't feel guilty. I'll just rise up and I'll be myself. I'm just trying to get through. That is all I have been trying to do for years, for a lifetime, just trying to get through. I'm not trying to just get through anymore. I'm trying to be with and of myself, with you in a loving way. Aho. And allowing you to come into my place in a loving way. Aho. 713-955-0332 is our calling number. Push 1 to get out of listen mode. We have a caller in the 201. Let's take that call now, and we'll move forward from here. Hello there. Who am I talking to today? Hello? Are you there? Is the caller there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry. You're talking to Jackie. My spiritual name is Hadassah.
Hadassah, how are you, Hadassah?
I'm good. I'm trying to find a way to take down the walls that I pretty much built around myself, protect my feelings, protect my identity.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one because I didn't realize that I was actually building them. But they were walls of protection. They usually came for people who are allowed to get close.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about building walls of protection is we I think we forget that not only do we protect ourselves and keep ourselves in, but unfortunately we start to leave people out who are people that love us, they care about us. And sometimes they don't show it in the way that they probably could, because sometimes we have expectations about what that looks like. But, we have to remember that they're just human too, and they're walking through the same, not the same path as you or I, but they have a similar path of hurts and wounds and mistrust as well,
But I don't know what to do about it because it seems to be a cycle that has repeated itself in my family, and it's a painful cycle. Which is at the point when you really need the most help and no one is there.
Yeah.
And it's transcending generations.
Yeah. Boy, do I know that. I've been sober a long time, almost 25 years, and I broke the cycle of alcoholism in my family. I'm the guy.
Okay.
You know, and that's, I'm not saying that to stand on the soapbox or to be better than anybody, because I'm not. I just was the one that happened to get pulled over that one fateful night in December 25 years ago. You know what I mean? And I went to court, and I went in front of the judge, and the judge sentenced me to 26 meetings of Alcoholics Anonymous. And you know what happened? The best day of my life happened. You know what when was the best day of my life? It was day 27 in Alcoholics Anonymous, because I chose to stay there. I chose to admit to myself that I needed help.
Right. I have a son now that I've been trying to get him to go in inpatient just to clean up, because he smokes marijuana and he gets in trouble with it. And it has stopped him from going off to college, and, you know, he wanted to play ball and everything. And I know that he's self-medicating, and he's very empathic, but he tends to be around the wrong crowd. You know, they're little kids like him, but they just don't have a direction, and I'm just hoping that you could beat the drum to help him reach that same point where you reached, and also, you know, for my siblings and them to come into the reality that what they're doing is wrong and is affecting all of us indirectly in so many ways. Well, but there is a lot of hurt and pain.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said he's smoking pot, because smoking pot is a residual effect of not knowing how to ask for love, not feeling like we're loved. Fourth chakra, heart space, you know, air, lungs. We take something into our mouth, our fifth chakra, a place of expression, and it goes directly into our lungs and it expands, but it's not what it is that we want, really. What we want, and I believe this because I did this. This was my life. I smoked marijuana. I smoked cigars. I smoked pot. What I wanted more than anything in my life was to be loved. But what I didn't know more than anything in my life is I needed to learn how to love myself. And that's a hard thing to do. Because who teaches that? You know, where can I learn that? You have a son, and I'm sure that, you know, you battle with your issues as well. That's why you're calling, right? So you battle with those issues, and they're stacked one by one. Each rock is stacked one by one in front of us. You know, what kind of wall is built between you and your son? You know, what kind of lifetime issues what kind of lifetime issues are we carrying? What kind of lifetime issues have affected us in a way that they've affected him too? You know.
Well, my mother died. My mother died, and my family shut me out. And they've been stealing anything that I could inherit. And so he saw me, I guess, in a state of despair and rejection. And it just affected all of them. Yeah. And, you know, I've always had to, like, defend myself, whether physically, emotionally, spiritually, or even legally. And I guess because he didn't see me as empowered as I once was.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I was distracted, and it's not that I want to be, it's just that I have so much on my plate all at one time.
Well, that's the thing. You know, my mom didn't purposely not love me. My mom has always loved me, but my mom was busy taking care of my dad, who, by the way, was an alcoholic. So she was caretaking him. She had 5 kids she had to take care of. She had a job where she went to, you know, every day, and, you know, she wasn't around a lot. And I don't blame her. I don't hold her feet to her fire anymore. And you heard that last word, anymore, because I used to hold her feet to the fire. And what I realized is there is no book. Well, there are plenty of books, I should say, on how to raise kids and how to be. But they don't live. Those people who write those books don't live in your house. They don't live in my house, right? They don't live in our situations. I don't care what they write. I don't care if they're PhDs, doctors, psychiatrists. I don't care who and what they are. If they don't live in your house, they don't know what they don't know. You know.
Right. I think his issues are more with his father than with me, because I've always tried to be there for him. Even though his father is home, his father is the one that's working the different hours. Yeah. So he wasn't always at his games. People would comment on that.
Are you and his father together?
Yes. But we have a different mindset when it comes to, like, supporting the kids. Yeah. Like, I believe that you're supposed to be out in the open with them, whereas he's more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And, people commented to my son, even though most of the people that would make comments about what was his dad, they don't realize his father was there every day, but his father was a provider. Most of these same people didn't have a father at all.
Yes. Right? See,
and
right?
so he doesn't see that. He could have been the person to say, well, my dad is providing for me. Your father is not in your life, and move on from there and internalize it differently. Or whatever it is, I just want him to be healed because we all need healing.
Absolutely.
We're all dealing with rejection, bullies, maltreatment, and a lot of unfair things. But at the same time, I believe that everything could turn around. I mean, with all that being said, I know that I built my wall, but my wall was for protection. I didn't want to let all this other negativity in. But at the same time, I also want the negativity to dissipate.
See, once I realized that I had built the walls around myself, I realized that I had shut myself out and in from everybody. And I needed those people, even the ones who I felt were negative towards me, who didn't like me. And the worst thing about what I did by shutting people out is I shut myself in with myself with no one to teach me any better. I didn't know how to love myself, much less want to be able to be loved by somebody else. I didn't know how to be with myself. I didn't know how to care for myself. At the age of 51, I'm 55 years old, I had to learn how to give myself things that I wanted for a lifetime from my mother. But the problem with that is I'm not a child anymore. I'm not a baby. I'm not a toddler. I'm not 5. I'm not 10. I'm not 11. I'm a grown man. How do I get those things, right? So how I got those things, I had an epiphany, and I realized I'm going to give those things to myself. But what do they look like? You're a grown man. You can't have the breast anymore, right? She can't rock you anymore. She can't kiss your boo-boo anymore, right? So what I decided I was going to do, and I did this, and actually I have a group that came out of doing this called Miscellaneous Men in Self-Care. We're meeting this Wednesday, tomorrow, here in Pasadena. I started taking hikes early in the morning. I started meeting friends for coffee. I started reading books. I'm taking time to read, not just for 15 minutes, for maybe a couple hours at a time reading. I've been sober a long time. I would go to meetings, and afterwards I would take myself to lunch, and then I would go home and send out resumes or take a nap or things like that. Those aren't things that a child needs from a mother. But as a man, there are things that made me feel good. What are the things that made me feel good? What are the things that I like? I like ice cream. I would buy myself ice cream. I like Indian food. I'll go have Indian food. What is it that I like? What is it that makes me feel good and nurtures me, nurtures the child within me? And I started giving myself those things that nurture the child within, which is a tough one because who teaches us that? Where do you learn that? And making a phone call like you did today is an important step in moving towards that for you and for your son, because now you have an ally. You have me. You can call in this show every week, or send me an email, or go to my website. You can type in I want a consultation or whatever. We can do a chakra reading for you or what have you. Now you have an ally. Now you're outed, if you know what I mean. You're out in the open. I see you. I feel you. As soon as you started to talk to me, I felt you. I felt my chest expand, and I felt you within me, and I feel you.
I would definitely like for you to beat the drum for myself and my family.
I hope I will.
Definitely.
This Friday, a friend of mine, Insights with Audrey and I, are having an event at a place called Indigo Alliance in East Pasadena at 7:30 on Friday. And in the beginning of the event, what happens is I sing in spirit, and then I drum, and then we start the teaching of the medicine wheel and the chakras within the chakra system and those sorts of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the intention. I'm going to ask you to just send me an email at Anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com with your name and your son's name. And
Anthony At Sacred Drum?
Medicine.com. You know, send me an email, and I will print that out, and I will take that intention with me physically and in my heart and in my intention, and I will drum for the both of you. Let me write it down again, because Friday is definitely a good day. Friday is 11/11, and that number has been coming to me in synchronicity for quite a while. You said Anthony? So at sacreddrummedicine.com.
Okay. Because this particular son has a lot of potential. And he's young. And I refuse to let him experience any more harm. He just recently was attacked by someone. Yeah. And they knocked his teeth out, pulled a gun on him. Oh, that's terrible. And I know that he hasn't told me the whole story, but at the same time, I want him to have that internal power to look at everything and to walk away and walk down the path that he needs to be walking down. Because he is very spiritual. He knows it, but he doesn't want to acknowledge it. It's at the point when he's like really, when he's at a heightened sense that he will say things to me that I know that he knows he's dealing with a spiritual thing that he don't understand. And he may be experiencing something that I experienced like 30 years ago, where when I was abusing substances, my ancestors began to reveal themselves to me, and I thought I was freaking out. But now what I know, they were showing me that they were all around me, and that they were trying to pull me away from this thing. And that's the reason why I'm able to connect with him more. But I'm very empathic, so I pick up on all the negative energies, which I have to constantly ground and meditate to release these energies, because I shouldn't be carrying them. And
remember that you don't have to pick up negative energies. You don't have to. I don't talk about
it. Happens whenever I am either extremely tired or being bombarded by things all at once, and I'm not able to be grounded, be grounded, like I'm everywhere. Yeah. That's when it happens. Go ahead.
No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Go ahead. But it happens. Mm-hmm. I was going to tell you, I am going to send some healing light your way. Where exactly are you in our beautiful country today?
I'm in New Jersey.
In New Jersey. Oh.
Yeah.
Say hello to Chris Christie for me. And goodbye.
Listen.
I'm going to send healing energy your way, and I'm going to lay my hands on you from here with the intention that you begin to heal and you begin to push those rocks and those stones out of that wall. And I have to tell you something. You said your ancestors. In my tradition, I'm a follower of the Red Road. I practice ceremony and the sweat lodge here. We refer to the stones, the rocks, the stone people as the grandmothers and the grandfathers. They're our protectors. They're older than time. So when you said that, it struck me. It struck a chord with me. And not only with me with regard to that, but with regard to the wall that I built around myself, that I was able to build it up and in protection, and then tear it down, having the same protection that I had with the wall, but from a different place of love, a different place of caring, of nurturing, of understanding, of awareness of what it is that I need and what I want for myself, and that I can give you in the same token. What is it we want? What is it we want for ourselves? What is it we really want to give ourselves, really? Because we kid ourselves a lot of times. You know, we think it's a new handbag from Macy's. We think it's the new car. We think it's a new house. We think it's a new 60-inch television. And those things are fleeting. They don't serve. But what serves is, how great would it be for your son to walk in the door every day and just hug you like it was the first time he ever saw you? Yeah. Right. How would that feel? And how do you think it would feel for him, for him to receive a hug from you every day, just like it was the first time you ever saw him, the first time you ever saw a teddy bear, the first time you ever tasted strawberry ice cream? You know, how would that feel deep inside? Man, I get all excited when I talk about stuff like that, when I think about stuff like that, you know?
It was so wonderful because my dog does that to me when I come home.
Right?
And
that's dog medicine, unconditional love.
Yes. And she's been my healing dog as well, my little healing buddy.
Oh, how awesome is that? So I'm going to ask you to do something today. Is your son going to be home today, this afternoon? He should be home anytime. Yes. It's about 4 o'clock, right?
Yes, he's home. He's home. He's just in and out. So I'm just waiting for him to settle down.
You know, when you get off the phone with me, you know, go in and seek him out. And just ask him to hug you. And allow him to do that. And hug him back. You know, give it to yourself. You can't. You know, there's a saying, you can't give away something you haven't got. So go get it. Go get it. Go get some. Go get some for yourself. Get you some. Like they used to say when I lived in Tennessee, go get you some. You know, and give it while you're getting it. You know what I mean? You know what? We're going to move on in the show. I really thank you for calling. Send me that email. I will carry that intention in my heart and in my hand. And in my, you know, and I will, when I drum Friday night, or even when I drum later on today, here at home, in the studio, I will carry you in my heart and ask Creator to watch over you and to give you the things that you want, that you need, you know, and to more than anything, to give you the awareness.
Okay.
To give you the awareness. All righty. You have a beautiful day. All right.
You too.
Take care now. All righty.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, all right. 713-955-0332 is a call-in number. Push 1 to get out of listen mode. You are listening to Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And today we're talking about, I remember as a little child kicking against the stone wall I built around myself. I won't give in. I won't feel guilty. I'll just rise up and I'll be myself. I'm just trying to get through. I got to tell you something. I don't just try to get through anymore. So much has happened in my life. I have had such a healing that I walk with purpose. In alcoholics, they talk about trudging the road of happy destiny. Trudging the road of happy destiny. And that sounds like work, trudging. But the word trudge means to walk with purpose. What is your purpose? What is my purpose? I know what my purpose is. My purpose is to be on this show to help you find your purpose. My purpose is to be on this show to help you knock down that wall, knock down those stones, pull those stones out of that wall, one rock at a time, one stone at a time. The stones that separate you from me, and me from you, and me from me, and me from God, and you from God, and you from you. Aho, mitakiase. Sometimes when I talk, it can be pretty confusing. Anyways, you know, how many times do you find yourself sitting still during the day just to give yourself a moment to rest or breathe? Do you actually do that? Do you take time for yourself in the busyness of your day? You know, I venture to guess no. No, because we're busy, we're stressed, we're anxiety filled. How do I get unstressed, Anthony? How do I get anxiety? How do I remove anxiety from my life? Be here now. Where are your feet? Pardon my language. Where are your feet and where is your ass? Where are you right here, right now? What are you doing right now? Not this morning when you were voting. Not later tonight when we're going to be having dinner. Right here, right now at 1:29 in the afternoon. or at 4:29 in the afternoon, East Coast time, in New Jersey. Where are you right here, right now? And are you? I remember as a little child kicking against the stone wall I built around myself. I no longer have that stone wall. And that's why I'm able to speak to you on the radio. That's why I'm able to get up and talk. I have to tell you, I've had the toughest time of my life this year. I posted that on social media earlier, and I asked for prayer. Just like other people need prayer, I need prayer too. But sometimes I leave myself out of the equation because I'm so busy in my life and so busy trying to help others and heal others that I forget about me. I forget to ask for what I want. And what is it that I want? What is it that you want? What I want is to have the complete awareness, and even if it's not complete, I want to have the awareness of what's going on around me, what's going on in my life, to be attached to my feelings, to be able to feel them, to be able to feel hurt, to be able to feel anger, to be able to feel fear, to be able to feel sadness, to be able to feel anxiety and stress, and know that I don't have to live in that is not my life. Those moments and feelings are fleeting, and they'll be gone if I just acknowledge them and take the time to be with them and what's causing them. Trying to get to the root cause of what causes those things. How do you want to heal yourself? I will ask you, if you want to heal yourself and you're serious about healing yourself, and I ask this of all my clients, I ask them first, before they even get out of bed, they can get up in bed, but not out of bed. Sit at the edge of your bed, and put your feet flat on the floor. Feel the floor. Feel the energy of Mother Earth come up through your bottom of your feet and your toes and your heel and the balls of your feet and your arch as the energy rises and your feet sink down into the carpet or the hardwood floor or the little rug at the edge of your bed or through your slippers or through your socks. Mother Earth's energy flows through you and flows up into your legs and into your first chakra, your root, ground root. And I would ask you to place your hands on your knees first thing in the morning. Hands on your knees. And take a breath. And where do you feel it enter your body? Where do you feel it in your body? Is it in your chest? Is it in your throat? Do you feel it in your sternum? In your place of fire, self-esteem? Do you feel it in your second chakra? Do you feel it in your root? Do you feel it in your sixth chakra, third eye? Do you feel it in your crown, in your connection to Creator? Where do you feel that breath? And do that 3 times. And that isn't just about paying attention to the breath, but that breath is so important because I just want you to be with your body, not your mind, not the thinking of coffee, not the thinking of turn on the TV or radio for news or whatever to start the noise. No, to be in the silence and the heartbeat of yourself, in your own breath, in your own feeling within your body, not your head, in your body. How do you want to heal? That's the beginning stages of healing. Sitting still and being quiet, getting quiet, even when you think you can't, when you convince yourself or you tell yourself stories that you can't quiet your mind. Nobody asked you to quiet your mind. We just asked you to sit still. Sit in silence. Well, where's the silence if I keep getting these thoughts, Anthony? It's the space between the thoughts, the silence between the thoughts that you wait for. They're few, they're fleeting, but wait, and wait, and wait, and be with those thoughts. Be with those thoughts. What is it you want to give to yourself? How is it that you want to heal? How? There's so many different ways to skin this cat, I have many teachers, by the way. And some of my teachers are Hindu monks. Some of my teachers are Buddhists. Some of my teachers are priests, Catholic priests. Some of them are ministers. Some of them are politicians. Some of them are mechanics. Some of them are workers at Target. Some of them are family members. Some of them are strangers on the street. I have many teachers. I have one God. There's one Creator, one Great Spirit. Aho. You know, I don't wear a T-shirt telling you who He is. It's not necessary, because you either see me or you don't. You know, you see me or you don't. What is it that I'm doing in front of you? How am I behaving? Or how am I behaving when others aren't looking? That's a big one. You know, I have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. That's the line right out of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. But the biggest word in that sentence is seemingly. I am not hopeless. I am hopeful. Sometimes I'm helpless, you know, because I don't know how to ask for help. I don't know how to let people know. Sometimes my shame is so great that I don't know how to open my mouth, that I don't know how to ask for help. And today I reached out because of the show that I'm doing today, and I asked for help in social media. I asked people for prayer, just to pray for me. It's been a tough year for me, and I'm coming to the end of that cycle, that hard cycle. And I'm going to be coming into a different place, but sometimes I become anxious because I want it right here, right now. I can't always have it right here, right now. My healing isn't like that. Creator isn't like that. Creator gives it to me in a timely fashion, in a timely manner. What is it you want for yourself? What is it that you want so much for yourself that you would become willing to wait 1 minute more, 1 hour more, 1 day more, 1 week more, and even 1 year more, or even a decade? What is it that you want so much for yourself to heal and to feel so good about yourself that you're willing to say, you know what, I need to stand still and I need to wait? Oh, it doesn't always look like the way we think it looks, you know? I'm a firm believer in that, because that's the way my life is, you know? That's the way my life is. But, you know, you aren't me, and I guess I'm not you, so, you know, it's an interesting concept, Anthony, you know? What is it? What is it? What is it that you want for yourself? And what, do you want to kick the stones of that wall you built around yourself out? How do you want to tear down that wall? You know, you can call me. You can reach out to me. You can go to my website, sacreddrum24.weebly.com, or you can send me an email, anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com, and I can give you a 20-minute consultation. I will give you that. Aho. I will give you that. I will give you my time, because others gave me their time. Others helped me. Others helped me to heal. Aho. Or you can reach out to me at area code 818-442-1717. Leave a message. If I don't answer, leave a message. You know. I remember. And I still remember. But I don't kick against that stone wall. I don't kick against that stone wall I built around myself. You know. And I get to help others remove the stones from their wall. The walls between them and me. The walls between them and others. The walls between them and God. Between you and God. Between you and yourself. Between what it is you want and your heart space. Between what it is you want and your personal power, your fire, your fuego, your third chakra, your self-esteem. Between you and your connection to others, your second chakra. Aho, water, element water. Aho. Kick down that wall. Allow me to help you do it. Ask for help. Asking for help is as easy as saying, hey, can you help me? Can I help you? You know? Wow. That first call was powerful, and it set me in the mode. You know, I've been thinking about this show today for since last week, or maybe it's been 2 weeks. I knew that I was going to do this show. I remember as a little child kicking against a stone wall I built around myself. You know, give me a call, 713-955-0332, and call in. You know, what is it that you need insight with? Or maybe you can give me some insight. I'm open to that. I don't know everything. Never said I did. Never will. I never will say that I do. You know, but I know enough to be dangerous. I know enough to be helpful. I know enough to create change. I know enough to continue change. I know enough to trust and stand still and stand strong and be that tree, be that well-rooted tree that doesn't get knocked down by the four winds. Aho! Aho! You ever see what happens when they put a little fence around a tree and the tree starts to grow after about 20 years? You know, that fence starts to break apart. You know, that's my example. I can walk up and down the streets of Pasadena and see sidewalks and little brick, you know, perimeters around trees and see how broken up they are. And it's like, oh, yeah, there it is. There's my example. You know, I can break out anytime I want to. You can break out anytime you want to. How badly do you want to change? Or do you want to change? Or do you feel you don't need to change? That you're fine the way you are? You know, there's people who say, well, this is my fate. Well, that's good, but I don't believe in that. You can believe in that. But I don't believe in that. I don't believe in fate. I'm a man of faith, not fate. And I believe that Creator doesn't make junk. You know, whether you believe in Creator or not, I'm not asking you to. You know, that's what I believe in. I believe in Great Spirit, and I believe that there's help for me no matter where I go, no matter where I live. There's always somebody I can ask for help. You know, last night I went to do some shamanic drumming over at the Indigo Alliance, and in East Pasadena, and one of the women that showed up, you know, she got help that she didn't know she was going to get. She just thought she was going to come and lay down and journey and get a healing of sorts, yes. But what she got was more, because I was able to spend some time with her talking and asking her about her. And she mentioned her son, and I got to talk to her about her son. You know, I got to read her. I felt her son. I felt her son in my heart, in my chest. You know, he's having a hard time. He needs his mother. He needs his father. You know, he thinks they're against him. Now, she didn't tell me this. This is my intuitive side speaking. You know, I felt him in my heart space. I felt him in my second chakra, and I felt his lack of self-esteem. You know, sometimes we have lack of self-esteem, and we don't understand why. We don't know why, but it's there. Sometimes it rears its ugly head. You know, it rears its ugly head, and we don't know what to do about it. But it comes from a lifetime of sometimes abuse. Sometimes self-abuse, self-induced abuse, you know, allowing people to run over us like a freight train with their spoken and unspoken expectations. Now, I got to tell you, I speak a lot about that, the spoken and the unspoken expectation, you know, and I had to learn about that. I grew up with that. My mother and father had expectations of me, spoken or unspoken. The school teachers that were around to teach me, spoken and unspoken. The priests. I went to parochial school. Catholic school, you know, spoken and unspoken expectations. Those nuns that yanked my arms and yanked my ear and pulled my hair and slapped me in the head, they had spoken and unspoken expectations. And they taught me something, because they told me to be quiet. They taught me something. They taught me that I could have a voice, regardless of who or what they did to me or what they thought, what they said, what they didn't say, what they spoke about me, what they didn't spoke. I have a voice, and I can. 713-955-0332. How is it you want to heal? What do you need help with? What is it you need help with? Dial 1 to get out of push 1, to get out of listen mode when you call in. We want to help. We want to be able to talk to you. We want to be able to set you on a path that you want to be on. And what is the path that you want to be on? You know, what does it look like to you? Is it lined with oak trees, you know, that crisscross over your head in branches and below you in root? They crisscross and you walk in the energy of the oak trees? You know, what is that? That's in fact, I just described the front of the street, the trees on the front of where I live on the street. And I walk within those energies. And I give that to myself because I consciously notice it. I notice it. I'm he who notices. I'm he who is aware. I'm he who sees. I'm he who feels. I'm he who hears. I'm he who notices. I'm he who notices. Be he or she or he. I don't always mean to put the masculine first. My apologies. Who notices? Be that person that notices. How do you want to heal? How do you want to kick out the stones from that wall? And who do you need to help you? Who do you want to help you? I'm here. 713-955-0332. This is the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. My name is Anthony Rodriguez. I am Walking Crow, and I have stepped into my power. I have stepped into my ability. I have stepped into my understanding of the awareness of who I am and what it is I want for myself. And it's not always easy. That's the good and the bad news. It's not always easy, you know. And you too can heal. You too can change. You know, if you're in your town, find a place that's where people who are spiritual are, people who are working with singing bowls, people who are working with oils, people who are healers, people who are massage therapists, people who are psychiatrists, psychologists, hypnotherapists, people who do card readings, people who are mediums and psychics, you know, intuitives. Find those people, seek those people out. And I guess what? There's a lot of them in your churches, you know. There's a lot of them in your churches, and a lot of times they don't talk about those things because, you know, they're teaching a doctrine there that where they want to control you and they want you to be who they want you to be. But the fact of the matter is, you know, those people are there who do those things because they will try every avenue. And those of us who are spiritual and those of us who try to heal ourselves, seek out every avenue we can. Seek out every avenue we can. By the way, Reverend Tiffany White, my producer, I haven't thanked her today, and I want to thank her for allowing me the opportunity and the honor, the great honor of being on air on Blog Talk Radio. Aho, aho. Having the ability to speak and to say the things that I want and need to say is a great honor for me. You know, how can I help you? How can I help you transition? How can I help you transcend? How can I help you transmute, transform? How do you want to transform? How do you want to change? How do you want to transcend into your life? How do you want to go into the cocoon, into the chrysalis, from being a caterpillar to cocoon chrysalis, to being in that uncomfortable and tight space and begin to come out as the incredible monarch butterfly that you're going to be? Are you willing to be uncomfortable for a little while? Because it's uncomfortable. There's nothing easy about becoming a butterfly. Nothing. They don't die, but they die in and of themselves to a degree. One of the medicines that I teach, and I carry one in my pocket all the time, I always carry an acorn in my pocket from the mighty oak. And for an acorn to grow into a mighty oak, the acorn has to die and dry for it to become the mighty oak. We are the same way. We have to die in and of ourselves, internally, emotionally, spiritually. Not so much physically. Yet. All of us are going to die physically. But emotionally and spiritually, psychologically, you know, we have to die in and of ourselves to transcend, transform, and transmute to become the mighty oak tree. You know, what are you willing to do to give yourself new branches that reach up to the heavens, that allow birds to nest? You know, what do you want to? What is it that you want to give up and let go of? This is autumn. It's the best time. It's the time to let go. That's why I'm picking up acorns on the street, because they're dropping from the trees. Because it's autumn. It's time. It's a time of letting go. It's a time of allowing the seeds to fall and fertilize and be silent and quiet through the winter, to move into springtime, direction of the east, direction of grandfather sun, direction of the born and the unborn. Aho! And to allow your acorn to grow, to rest, to let go, to rest, and to grow in the new beginning in springtime. That time is coming. I remember, like a little child, kicking against the stone wall I built around myself. Oh. Give me a call, 713-955-0332. We have about 10 minutes left in the show. You know, what is it you want to ask? What is it you want to talk about? You know, what is it you want to ask? How can I help you? How can I begin to offer you some answers? How can you begin to offer yourself some answers? By calling in and possibly letting go of the things you're holding on to. It isn't easy. You know, when you have the kung fu grip of holding on, you know, it's hard to let go. But the Suffolk poet Rumi says, life is about, you know, picking up and letting go. It's not about holding on. It's absolutely not about holding on. You know, holding on is white knuckling it. You know, holding stress and pressure in your jaw, creating a crinkle in your brow, uncomfortable shoulders, you know, pain in your shoulders, getting sick to your stomach. Let go, let good. Give yourself good. Give yourself the ability to let go, let God. You don't have to call it God. That's what I call it. I call it God, Great Spirit, Creator. Oh, Creator, Great Spirit, Creator God. Oh, Umateo, Krishna, Radhe Govind, you know, Allah, you know, Buddha. You know, what do you want to call it? Call it whatever you want. Universe, galaxy. You know. How do you want to heal? And do you want to heal? Ask yourself that question. That's a hard question. Because if you ask yourself that question, you just might have to tell somebody like me or somebody that you want to care about you, you know. What is it you want? You know, love yourself. How do I begin to do that, Anthony? Tell on yourself. Tell somebody that you know that cares about you and that will love you back, potentially. You know, what is it that you want? What is it? 713-955-0332. This is a Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. And my name's Anthony Rodriguez. You know, I remember as a little child kicking against a stone wall I built around myself. You know, it's been over 20 years since I first heard that song. But those words have been with me these last over 20 years. They don't just live in my head, they live in my heart, they live in my body, they live in my soul. They're a part of me because there are things that I had to do to recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And kicking out the stones of that wall one at a time is one of them. You know, I separated myself from you with arrogance. And I separated myself from you with drugs and alcohol. I separated myself from you with anger, with fear, with self-loathing, sadness. But you don't understand. How many times does that come out of my mouth? But you don't understand, but you don't understand, but you, yeah, but. You know, I could have but myself to death, but I didn't. Creator was smarter than that, and he allowed me to see. The scales fell from my eyes, and I was able to see in a new way. That's biblical, by the way. And this isn't about the Bible. You know, I never proclaimed to be a religious person. I never claimed to be a religious person. I don't want to be a religious person. You know, I want to be a person of spirit, a person of heart, a person of soul, and I want to help you. How can I help you? How could we answer some questions for you? 713-955-0332. Push one to get out of listen mode. What is it you want to ask? What is it you want to say? When is it that you're going to let go of the fear and put down the fear of actually speaking up? Of others knowing who and what you are. Who cares if they know who and what you are? I don't care anymore. You know, I'm transparent. You know, I want to be transparent. Because for too long I lived behind that wall. And you don't have to live behind that wall. Oh, it's autumn. Let go, let good. Let those seeds of change fall to the ground. Nurture them. Fertilize them with love, fertilize them with the rest of what you need to let go of, and be with yourself, and give yourself that self-love, that self-care. that nurturing that you need, and learn how to ask for it from others. I just gave the caller, advice. I said, when you get off the phone, go and seek out your son and hug him. Give him something. Hug him. And let him hug you back. I know when my wife comes home today, one of the first things I do when she comes home is I go seek her out because I want to feel her presence. So I go give her a kiss, if I can, And she does the same thing. This is what we want for each other. This is what we want to bring into each other. We want to bring in caring and nurturing and love and understanding. And not just physically. This isn't just about the physical. This is about the emotional. This is about the spiritual. What is it you want to change? What is the beginning of change that you want? What do you want to start with? Or do you want to change everything? Can you change everything? Should I change everything that I want? What is it that I'm trying to give myself that others haven't been able to give me, but they haven't been able to give it to me because they don't know how to ask for it? Give me a call. Call in now. 713-955-0332. The lines are open. The lines are open. And we're here for you. Why am I here for you? Why are we here for you? Because my producer, Tiffany White, allows me to be. What are you willing to share? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up? Are you willing to give up your right to be right? I did that a long time ago. I don't need to be right. There's too many. Life is too short for that nonsense. For me. It may not be for you, but it is for me. And I have kicked out the stones of that wall one at a time for the last 25 years. And I no longer have that wall. I can reach out for help to those that I either know or don't know if they can help me. But I'm willing to ask. I'm willing to try. What have you got to lose but your old self? Do you need to be holding on to your old self? Do you need to be holding on to your old self? If you're out there and you don't want to do this publicly, you can send me an email at anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com. You reach out to me. We'll give you a 20-minute consultation. And if you're in the Los Angeles area, set an appointment with me and come see me. I can help you down your path. I can help you on the road. I can help you to recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. I know I can. I've helped many, and many have helped me. I hope. And a lot of them didn't know that they were helping me, because I didn't know how to ask. When I first got sober, and I talk about this openly, about my sobriety, I started going to meetings of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I used to back up to groups of people so I could hear their conversations because I didn't know how to engage. I didn't know if I could, but I would stand there and listen over my shoulder, what they were saying. And eventually, over time, I started to turn around and I would join those circles of people talking and conversing because I knew that I could. I learned that I could. And the only reason I knew that I could and I learned that I could is because they were showing me how to do that as they did it. And they didn't seem to have trouble doing that, but I did, And at that time, I was 31, 32, somewhere around there, But they gave me the ability and they showed me how to open my mouth, how to face forward, how to face my fears, how to face my anxiety. No, not how to face my anxieties, how to let go of my anxieties, how to be right here, right now. This show is about healing. How do you want to heal? This is the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. How do you want to transform? How do you want to transcend? How do you want to transmute? How do you want to transition? What is it you want to transform into? Do you want to be happier? Do you want to be healthier? Do you want to be more spiritual? Do you want to be able to just, not have to cry at a drop of a hat? What is it that you want for yourself? I have to tell you this, and I'm going to say this right here, right now, because we have about 40 seconds left. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. This is Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show, and I want nothing from you, but only want everything for you. I hope. And how can I help you get there? Reach out to me at sacreddrum24.weebly.com. I want to thank you for joining me, joining the caller and the other listeners that are out there. And I bid you a happy Tuesday. I hope you vote, and thank you for coming. I hope.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be hard. Like early 90s heavy metal hard.
I'm yelling and screaming and I'm loud. Roar!
Geico makes it easy. You can review and update your policy or report a claim on Geico.com or the Geico mobile app. Because shouldn't we all have a little less stress in our lives?
I'm not even upset about anything.
We were born to sob and to howl, to shudder and shriek, to jump up, crack up, scream our lungs out, and be left speechless. This is the good stuff in life, and the all-new Contour from Cox helps us get right to it. Just say what you want, and your TV finds it. Speak, find, feel, and get right to the good stuff. Available to residential customers in select Cox service areas. Advertised features available with Cox Contour 2 digital receiver. Professional installation required. Other conditions apply.